And here we go! ElPharao playing in blue from the western base as the Wildlanders, building that barracks and that storehouse. GLHF is called by Numudan, who is playing from the eastern base in green, fitting for his faction, the Vithara, and he's going standard for that nest opening so he can build that raptor to go for the shrines. He's once again doing his Numudan style opening, sending the chief, the sage, over to the other side of the map, and it's actually it's a nice guessing game by him. He won the gamble. He sent it to the top shrine, and it's the same shrine that also ElPharao is going for with Mika right now. So yeah, that's too bad for ElPharao. He will be having quite the trouble when it comes to killing those dinos and getting the shrine, because there will constantly be this super annoying sage just floating around and, you know, trying to get some hits in on the warrior. For now he's chasing him away, but I feel like that is exactly what Numudan wants, right? So he wants to prevent ElPharao from doing the creeping, from killing dinosaurs, from getting that extra food income, and it's working out perfectly fine. In a normal game, I would say ElPharao would have at least killed like those 4 dinosaurs already, which would be 120 food in his bank right now, which he's not having. So that is an absolutely massive blow to ElPharao. He's trying it again now, luring a couple of those dinos away so he can kill them one by one, or at least 2, instead of having to fight all of them at the same time. And once again the sage is coming in and doing a little bit of poking, shooting over here. There's also a raptor coming in. Maybe he can help something in the fight, but doesn't look like it. And Numudan decides, alright, it's time to get out of here for now. I did enough damage, but I don't want to risk losing my chieftain, so I'm just gonna go back. Let him have that shrine. I already have 3, or rather 4, and I would still have 3 even if you take that one, so it's fine. He actually converted a Triceratops. Oh boy, I missed that. That is so cool. So how this works is, for those of you who don't know, the sage has an active ability that allows him to convert wild dinosaurs to his side. And the deal with that is, there's actually a little raptor coming and trying to harass, but there's one warrior defending, so it's fine. He probably wants to build his settlement over here, right? He's got the resources. Yeah, he's definitely going to build work. So the sage, right? He has this ability that allows him to convert wild dinosaurs, and the way it's working is that it costs the amount of HP that the wild dinosaur has in power. So the less HP, the more hurt it is, the cheaper it is to convert it. So what you want to do is you want to lurk in the shadows while your opponent is trying to kill some dinosaurs, and just wait for the last second when it's like almost dead, like 5 HP left, whatever, and then convert it, and you will get the dinosaur for only 5 power, which is absolutely huge. If you then also manage to sneak it away before it dies, you can just run it back to the back of your base and heal it up, either by taking the regeneration talent, or maybe even by building a narrate and just healing it up. And it doesn't cost any supply, so if you do that, you basically get a where is it? Doesn't matter. There it is. You basically get a 325 HP unit for 0 supply, and that only costs 5 or 10 power, whatever. So it's absolutely massive. You can pull it off, but of course it's not easy. It's really hard to do, but it's worth it. It's worth trying because it's so good. Little raptor dying over here, so let's see what these guys are actually doing. Numudan sitting on 3 settlements. Where did he build them? One over here, and one is building right now over here. And ElPharao sitting on 2 settlements and 2 barracks, and now he's building a stable. So he wants to transition into those Triceratops riders, which are so strong against the Vithara faction. Oh, we need to be careful. Numudan wants to take back the shrine and maybe kill a couple of units, and he actually can. He's picking off the reinforcements. Oh, that's so smart. He doesn't fight the army head on because it's just too big at the moment. He just goes over here expecting the reinforcements to come this way and just picking them off one by one. And he managed to snipe 2 units for free. That is absolutely great. Really nice play by Numudan. I like that. Supply though is in favor of ElPharao at the moment. He's sitting at 67 supply to the only 60 of Numudan. And he's also going to tier 2 right now. So ElPharao really playing a pretty strong game. Numudan, on the other hand, is really shooting ahead in workers right now. He's booming. He's not really making too many units. He just made 3 settlements and he's making so many workers at the moment. His economy in just a minute or two will be absolutely massive. ElPharao though, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to wait for my tier 2 upgrades, whatever. I'm just going to go in for a little push and oops, can pick off a couple more units over here if he's careful. Yeah, he sees it. 1 archer going down. Almost 2 archers going down, but it's still great. 1.5 archers once again killed for free. A warrior goes down, another warrior goes down. Very nice kiting over here by Numudan. Very, very good control on his units. 3rd settlement for ElPharao is also up. He is in tier 2 now, getting the worker food boost to increase the efficiency of his workers when it comes to berries and farms. And that is a big wisp train over here. Choo choo, mother. I can't say that on stream, but you know what I was gonna say. Choo choo. Choo choo indeed. But he finds it instantly. ElPharao just in position, and that is so many workers that are currently not mining, but he's fighting with them, and that is so much extra DPS. I would not fight this if I was ElPharao. What is he doing? He cannot fight the whole army of Numudan plus 20 something workers over here. You can absolutely not do that. They are not the strongest fighters. They are quite squishy, especially after the patch. 75 HP only, but I mean it's still 5 extra damage per wisp, you know, that just gets added to the army of your opponent. So you really want to avoid fighting army and lots of workers at the same time, because it's almost never going to be a good trade unless you maybe have a lot of units that have splash damage, whatever, that can just take care of the workers in an instant. Like if you have 5 mammoths or whatever, then yeah, you don't care about a couple of wisps coming in. But like this, nah, you cannot do this. And Numudan is getting aggressive right now. His supply is just skyrocketing, and he actually did not make as many workers as I thought he would make. It's only 55, pretty even with the 54 of ElPharao. So early on I was talking how his economy is going to skyrocket, but yeah, it's not really. 4th settlement is now also up for Numudan. So yeah. And there goes the settlement upgrade for Numudan as well. So he is now also going to tier 2. I wonder what he's gonna do with the tier 2. Is he just gonna go for the upgrades for the Raptors and the Dilophosaurus? Or is he maybe going to go into Panthers and maybe a couple of Ankylosaurus or something? We will see. Fire Warriors have just finished, and there's also a big fight going on. There's the meteor going down, so Numudan has to go back so he doesn't take the damage of the meteor. Very nice splitting, couple of units over here, couple of units back, so he doesn't get hurt by the meteor too much. And yeah, ElPharao defended, even though he's behind in supply by quite a bit. His army is pretty beefy. He's got the Triceratops, he's got the Fire Warriors, are just such a good unit against the tier 1 units of ElPharao. So he's able to defend and hold. And now he just needs to see if he can max out in supply to get this really supply efficient army that Wildlanders have. What upgrades are in queue? Does he have the... No, he does not have the Stampede upgrade yet. It's also not in queue, which I find very interesting. Why is he not getting the Stampede upgrade? It's probably one of the best upgrades that Wildlanders can get against Vithara. How many stables does he have? Okay, he has only 2 stables, yeah, okay. And his economy is also... Like, I'm not saying it's bad, he has 75 workers, but he's spending it well. He's spending very well. His food is very low at the moment. Another little push coming over the map over here by ElPharao. Where's the army of Numudan? It's just sitting in the back doing absolutely nothing. He's probably waiting for the upgrades, but he needs to come over and defend because there's just this huge army over here killing his economy. There's so many wisps that's gonna go down on the gardens, on the berries. A couple of them are escaping right now. One of the upgrades has finished. The Raptor is done, and he's coming in for the fight right now. But the Venom upgrade is still taking some time. Another meteor coming down, hitting the complete army of ElPharao, of Numudan over there. Tornado also coming down, and I feel like ultimately Numudan is going to be able to defend this really well. The Entangle slowing down the units so he can get the full wraparound on those units. Is it gonna be enough though? Yeah, I feel like it is. It is gonna be enough, and the dinos are actually helping out over here. They got somehow aggro. They got triggered by whatever unit or something was just hitting them, so they decided, okay, hey, dude, we're gonna participate in the fight. Fourth settlement now finally going down for ElPharao, and also the Stampede upgrade. He probably should have waited with the fight until this upgrade is ready, because that would have made such a huge difference. I feel like ElPharao is also always a little bit too over-eager with the engagements. He should always wait a little bit longer for those crucial upgrades to finish. Settlement, luckily for ElPharao, is finishing, so he will have that defense, but is it gonna be enough? I do not know. The Stampede upgrade is now done, so those units are really strong now, but there's just so much stuff going on by Numudan over here. His supply is sitting at 180 to the only 125 of ElPharao. Worker count is dead even though, so the economies are very good. But then again, Numudan is on his way to tier 3, and that's gonna make a major difference in the game. Building a tower over here to get that extra defense in. What is that little boy over here gonna do? Probably gonna build a storehouse over here to get those berries. Oh, that is so ballsy by ElPharao, building the market right into the line of sight of Numudan. He sees it, he owns the shrine, so he has kind of this vision area over here, so he sees a big attack going on over here that almost is Meteor going down, but missing once again. But those stampeding Triceratops riders in combination with the fire archers are just so strong that Numudan has to go back while doing a little bit of a harass over here with some fear raptors, and that is very nice. He's killing a couple of workers, even though it doesn't really matter because ElPharao already sitting at almost 100 workers right now. Oh my god, he's got an economy that is absolutely skyrocketing at the moment. So many farms. Where is he gathering crystal from? He's gathering crystal over here, somewhere else, and the raptors are still going ham on the base, killing so many of those houses. Yeah, that's very nice pickups for units that are, for this stage of the game, 12 minutes into the game. Raptors are really expendable. They are cheap, they train fast, you really don't need to take care. You really don't need to care about them too much. Another entangle going down and a tornado on the units. Such a deadly combination. Slowing down the units and then plopping down that AoE splash damage spell on the units. But at the end, he managed to escape with only minimal casualties, I would say. It was really not too bad of a fight for ElPharao. But right now, Numudan is, like I said, in tier 3. And he's going for the Wendigos and also researching the Legions upgrade. Oh my god, that's such a strong and important unit right now. Let's see what he's gonna... Is he gonna engage? Yeah, he's like, okay, I already got like 2 Wendigos, so I'm just gonna go. The Meteor though going down! The Meteor is gonna land on the army and he's gonna hit a couple of units, but it could have been worse. That was really like last second dodging by Numudan over there. Oh my god. Like literally 1 second later and he would have lost like 30 supply in an instant. Wow, that was so close. Unlucky for ElPharao, but I mean, if your opponent is playing well, then he's playing well. You can't do anything about it. So many Wendigos are in queue for Numudan. He's really going for those big, tanky tier 3 units. And I don't really see an answer for ElPharao against those Wendigos. He just does not have any unit that does bonus damage against infantry. Doesn't have bowmen, and even bowmen are not really that great against Wendigos. I think he needs lots of saber-tooth archers over here, or even throwing axemen, but he is not even in tier 3, so he can't make the throwing axemen at all. He can make saber-tooth, and I think, oh no, he is actually in tier 3. I take it back, he is building T-Rex right now, but he's not researching the rage upgrade. What is this entangle going down over here? The workers coming in as well. Meteor going down, I don't even know what's going on. Oh my god, that fight is crazy. So many workers pulled off the line by ElPharao. He really does not want to die over here. He knows he's in trouble. He knows that he's only at 130 supply, but he does not want to give up. The rage is now in queue, and once the rage finishes, that is once again going to change the tide of the game, because it's probably one of the strongest upgrades in the game. The T-Rex itself is already a very good unit. I mean, look at the stats: 675 HP, 35 armor, 35 damage. Such a strong unit, and with that upgrade, they get massive area of effect damage as well. So it's really an absolutely amazing upgrade, and Numudan needs to be really careful how he's gonna engage this army of ElPharao once the T-Rex have those glowy eyes and have the splash damage. A couple of Dryads coming in now as well. Very interesting choice by Numudan, because he's just now researching the first range damage upgrade from the Smithery, so those Dryads are not gonna be the best upgraded units in the game. But still, even without upgrades, they are not bad at all. They still dish out pretty significant damage. And now Numudan going in as well. It looks like he wants to go for the kill maybe. Another meteor coming down. And this time it actually is gonna connect with half of the army of ElPharao. Wow, that was such a massive connection. But the Wendigos are standing strong, and the T-Rex do not have the splash damage yet. The so important upgrade has not finished. The tower goes down, the workers have to run away, and there's just nothing left for ElPharao over here. I see like a handful of saber-tooth archers and one lonely T-Rex that is already walking on the skin of his teeth. Only a couple of HP left. Really does not look too good for ElPharao over here. He still somehow manages to be at 140 something supply, which is not too bad. The saber-tooth archers also doing damage, and another meteor. Where does he even get that power from? Every time he's got the meteor ready, but this time unfortunately not doing as much as last time. Numudan now maxed out, getting more of those Dryad Empresses. He actually got the upgrade for them as well that increases the rate of fire, which makes them shoot like a freaking machine gun. Such a good upgrade as well. And yeah, Numudan's army looks so scary at the moment. T-Rex also looking scary. It's upgraded now. It is the Raging T-Rex, but it's just one. It's one lonely raging boy. I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but I mean, ElPharao, he's slowly climbing up in supply again. Slowly but steadily. And I really would not count him out yet. On the other hand, I feel like Numudan, sitting on a pretty good economy, has a huge bank at the moment, and a maxed out army, so I feel like he should probably be a little bit more active in this game. He should just take trades, because he has to know that he is in a commanding lead when it comes to supply and upgrades and economy, and he's actually going for it. Is the meteor going to come down once again? I don't know if it is. Probably not enough power this time, just barely not enough power. Now he finally has the 250 power that he needs. Sends down the meteor, kills a couple of units, but most importantly forces half of Numudan's army to walk back and disengage from the fight. But I feel like still it is probably going to be too much for ElPharao to handle, is it? So much range DPS is coming down from the back. And those saber-tooth archers do not look like they have an answer for this. Even the settlement is gonna go down to the ranged units of Numudan. And this might very well be the end of the game. Numudan staying strong at 165 supply. ElPharao, well, he's not doing too bad as well. And wow, there's actually the whirlpool coming down by those narrates. Numudan researched the upgrade for the narrates. Where is it? There is it, the deism upgrade that gives those narrates an active ability that allows them to place some kind of a tornado whirlpool kind ability on the map that does absolutely massive splash damage. And the biggest thing of it all is that it stacks. So if you have a lot of narrates, you can just plop down so many of those whirlpools to absolutely decimate the army of your opponent. ElPharao now desperately looking for crystal. He has only 3 in the bank right now, and so he's sending a big bunch of villagers over here to this crystal patch. He's also mining on this crystal patch, which is almost mined out though. So let's see what Numudan's plan is. What kind of units is he gonna make? He's getting all the upgrades. He's also getting the gigantism upgrade that upgrades the mammoth to the titan mammoth, which also gets bigger splash damage. So Numudan's army is as sophisticated as it can be. It can't get any better than this, I would say. He probably has like almost all the upgrades at the moment. Well, he's missing a couple of them, but his army is just so strong. A very nice tank line by those Wendigos, who also do pretty significant damage. Then so many Dryads in the back with the massive support DPS. Also the ability of the narrates. and I expect to also see a couple of mammoth coming into the scenery just very soon. Pretty nice caravan line by ElPharao now. He's sitting on 17 caravans. How many do they get? 82 crystal per trip. That's not too bad. That is really not too bad. So let's see. Looks like we're gonna have a pretty significant engagement over here. It feels like ElPharao wants to engage. Whirlpool coming down on the Sabertooth Archers, and Tangle also to slow it down. Meteor coming down to save the day for ElPharao, who's going back. Retreating because he wants to make more and more T-Rex. T-Rex is the unit of the day for ElPharao today. He just wants to max out on those T-Rex.
Water can flow.
So many gardens by Numudan. 25 gardens, and how many? 10 Guardian Circles is what he have at the moment. But his work account is really not looking too great anymore. Same for ElPharao. What happened over there? Big engagement going down. The narrates with the Whirlpool once again. And those Dryads, oh my god, look at this. The rate of fire, they are really shooting like a Kalashnikov. Absolutely insane. Wow. Whirlpool coming down. Meteor as well, once again not hitting anything really. And yeah, I feel like the army of ElPharao is just lacking a little bit of sophistication. And I mean, the T-Rex are strong, but what is there to support the T-Rex? Just a couple of Sabertooth Archers who are not really doing anything. He's missing throwing X-Men, for example. They would be very helpful in the fight. Oh boy, I feel like this is really it, maybe. Is this it? We might be seeing the final fight of the day, or not of the day, of the game. Engaging once again to dodge the Meteor, and why is he going back? He's still sitting strong at 200 supply, so I really don't get why he's not engaging more. Maybe he feels like his economy is not strong enough anymore. Yeah, it actually is. Like, he has no crystal in the bank. Doesn't even have a trade road. Okay, he has one, but he has only 6 crystalline reptiles so far. While ElPharao, like I said, is sitting on 24 now. Holy moly. And now he's pushing in again. Just waited for another round of reinforcements so he can come in with the maxed out army. And there is finally the Tomahawk throws coming in. And another Meteor coming down. And oh my god, this time it's actually gonna land on all the Dryads. Wow, that was a massive connection, but is it gonna be enough? I don't think so. No, it was not enough. Those Dryads, even if the Meteor hits fully, they still have more than enough HP to at least survive it. And oh boy. Narrates coming in for the Whirlpool. And there comes the big Titan Mammoth. Yeah, it looks like this is really the end of the game, guys. I called it a couple of times, but I feel like this time I'm finally correct. It's 180 supply to only 100 over here. ElPharao dropping massively in supply. His bank is not looking good. He just can't reproduce his army. He lost to settlement. And he will lose like almost half of his production over here. So, oh boy. Well, there's a couple of new units coming out, like 3 T-Rex might be enough to actually fight. Just as I said, there comes a huge reinforcement round of Wendigos to greet the T-Rex. Oh, you made a couple of T-Rex? Well, good for you. I made a couple of Wendigos, and yeah, that's not what you want to see. Okay, that was actually the GG. No GG called by ElPharao. He just left the game, and Numudan wins this absolutely amazing game. First game of the series. Numudan now leading 1-0 against ElPharao. Lobby is open for these guys to join for the second game of the series. Alright, these guys are ready, so we're gonna jump right into the second game of the series. Numudan looks like he changed the faction. He's now playing as the Necromas, and that is probably due to the fact that ElPharao chose um, the Overlook as map, which is, and pretty much all the good players, all the good players agree on that. Not a very good map for the Vithara faction because it is so small and the rush distance is so short and there's only 3 shrines on the map. So the combination of all these factors doesn't really make it doesn't make it a solid map for Vithara. If possible, you want to avoid playing Vithara on this map unless for some reason you may have a secret strategy, you know, secret tactics that you can use as the Vithara, but Numudan apparently does not have any secret strategies, so he's just like, I'm just gonna play Necromas instead. I'm not gonna bother playing the Vithara on this map, I'm just gonna play the Undead faction. Barracks coming down for ElPharao, and it looks like also a burial grounds for Numudan. So yeah, once again, pretty standard openings. No storehouse though, this time. Looks like Numudan feels like that oh, never mind, as I say it, he's building the store. So he is one of those guys who probably likes to build the burial grounds or the barracks first and then the storehouse. There's other players who feel like, nah, it doesn't matter if I build the barracks a little bit later, I'm just gonna go for the storehouse right away to have that absolute maximum efficiency on my early economy. Yeah, really same over here. Storehouse on the berries and the barracks, nothing special. Numudan already creeping on this left shrine over here, killing a couple of those small side Tachosaurus and raptors. While ElPharao is, what is he doing? Where's Mika? Oh, okay, there's Mika. She's coming in now. So he's not going for the shrine just yet. He wants to go for the Triceratops first. Yeah, he will get more food, because obviously the Triceratops drop more food than the small dinos, but also he's not having any power income at the moment, while Numudan is already slowly climbing up to 60 almost power. So yeah, it's a small disadvantage, I believe, to not go for the shrine as well, just as fast as Numudan did. Let's see, Numudan already switching into the blowgunner, so he didn't really bother to make too many adapts, just 2 for the early creeping assistance, and then he immediately switched to his blowgunners. And ElPharao actually doing the same, 2 warriors and then switching into the range units. So these guys are absolutely mirroring each other at the moment. The only difference is that Numudan is already owning 2 shrines, while ElPharao has none. He's stealing one right now, but he needs to be really careful that he's not gonna get flanked over here by the army of Numudan. He's coming in with quite a significant force over here. I think it's bigger, right? No, it's actually exactly the same. 2 adapts and 2 warriors and 4 bowmen and 4 blowgunners. There's a 5th one over here right now, but there's 2 more bowmen coming in. Does that mean double barracks is on? Yep, double barracks is actually the play by ElPharao over here. And Numudan is confident on just 1 burial ground, so he is going to go for that settlement exactly over here to get some map control, to protect those berries and make them his for the rest of the game probably, or at least for the next minutes. Oh, so many archers by ElPharao though, so Numudan needs to be a little bit careful over here. He has 200 power in the bank, so he can always use the Ancestors ability, play Beastie Cutie style. And now the settlement coming down for ElPharao. He's building it on the sideline over here, which is also not a bad placement, I would say. You know, securing the berries over here, maybe potentially already thinking ahead and planning a potential trade route for the later game when you build a market maybe over here. That would be probably the safest trade route that you can get on this map. You know, there's the cliff that is protecting you, and here's only one little choke. Killing a couple of dinos over here, and then, you know, trading from here to over here, which will most likely already give you a decent crystal income. I really can't tell how much per trip, but my guess would be that it would be like maybe 55 to 60 crystal for this distance, which is not too bad at all, especially considering how safe it is in the back of your base. There's really no way for your opponent to harass it. So yeah, I like the settlement placement over there. Triple burial grounds by Numudan, so he is not thinking about building a third settlement. I feel like he's just gonna go ham on the units, just pumping out those burial grounds tier 1 units like a crazy man. Still though, he is not too far ahead in supply, only by 9 at the moment, which is of course significant, but not too significant, especially considering that a couple of those are workers. So let's see.
Bring out your dead.
Oh my god, the Deathclaws coming down on these archers, and they're taking so much damage by the Deathclaws. None of them dying, I feel like. This one guy over here was really lucky. One more hit and he would have bitten the dust, but he somehow survives. Still though, so much damage on all those archers. Pretty nice ability usage there by Numudan. It did cost him, however, all his power. Ah, that is so unlucky. The settlement gets found immediately. One worker going down, the settlement foundation going down. That is a big blow to the build of ElPharao. Well, he's building it right away again, so he still had the resources in the bank. And now Numudan is coming in, and it looks like he does not want to disengage up. Just as I said, he's going back a little bit. Still taking the fight though. Just a little bit of kiting, a little bit of, you know, microing the range units back, whatever. But ultimately I feel like the archer count is too high to actually force an engagement over there. 17 archers to 18 blowgunners, so it would probably be somewhat of an even trade, and Numudan can't be sure if his economy, whatever, is so far ahead right now that he can afford to take an even trade at this stage of the game. So it's probably a wise decision to just disengage and go back.
What do you want?
Little does he know though that he is in fact really ahead in the economy with 46 workers to only 34. So if he knew that, then he might have actually taken the engage. It's like, okay, I'm so ahead in economy, we're gonna trade evenly, and I have the better economy, so it will be good for me. Whenever you are ahead in economy and you feel like you can get at least an even trade in army, do it. It will be good for you. It will only put you further ahead in the game. Numudan now taking the shrine again over here to get that vision. And oh, this shrine was actually completely untouched for all of the game. That is interesting. None of these guys actually managed to kill the dinos over there until now, and we're already almost 8 minutes into the game. So that is interesting, especially considering how small of a map this is. So it's very unusual that nobody takes out these couple of weak dinosaurs over here to go for the shrine. There's a Triceratops here who took control of that shrine, but it's immediately stolen again by Numudan, who is now owning 2 shrines, while ElPharao is only having the one little shrine over here, killing a couple more dinosaurs to get the food. And this might be a really good timing actually for Numudan. If he just decides to go in over here, he can definitely just take out the settlement, because the army is just completely out of position, but he's also attacking. So looks like we're gonna have a base trade. Maybe no, we're not gonna have a base trade. Numudan just going back. Or is he maybe gonna go for the settlement over here? No, he decides, oh, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna be here and do nothing. Okay, now he's finally moving in and decides, okay, it's time for a base trade, boys. It's time for a base trade. There's a couple of archers over here and 1 Triceratops to defend, but I don't think that will be enough. Let's see how much damage ElPharao is actually doing in the base of Numudan. It looks like he's actually doing quite a lot of damage. He's killing so many of those houses that Numudan will not be able to produce any units for the next minutes of the game. So he needs to do equally as significant damage over here, or he will be massively behind in this game, I feel like. But it looks like he is doing just that. He killed the settlement, which is huge. He's gonna kill the stable as well. The units of ElPharao are just not enough to do anything. They're just upgraded to the poison archers, which makes them stronger, but not strong enough to fight in these numbers. You can be poisonous all you want, but 5 of you little boys are not gonna be enough against this army over here. The army of ElPharao, though, still standing strong in the back of Numudan's base, and it just did really a lot of damage. He killed like 6 houses over here. Now there is 28 villagers just running away from the archers, but he needs to be very careful because he does not want to lose them, but I feel like that is exactly what's gonna happen. All these workers are just used as body blockers by Numudan over here, so that the archers, and that is actually GG called by ElPharao. He saw that all hope was lost in this game. Let's see, what did he have? Just a couple of archers over here. The settlement is dead. Production is only 2 stables and 2 barracks. Yeah. Supply 70 to 142. So I think that was a good call by ElPharao to just, you know, not prolong the game much more and just be like, yeah, okay, you got me there. You got me. GG. Well played. And that means that Numudan is advancing to the round of 4, I believe. Yes, he's advancing to the round of 4 of the upper bracket. Congratulations to Numudan. And ElPharao is not out of the tournament yet. He is dropping down to the losers bracket.